Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Okay, so we were completing till 13, so we'll read 14 now, 7.14.
You have to start 11, Prabhu.
11 you started, but I marked 13. How come?
Can ask others, Prabhu, maybe by mistake.
Okay, we'll do 7.12 then.
No, 11 we should start from.
Part 11, huh?
Krishna Madhurya Rayeka.
The wonderful Krishna himself, actual form of devotee realization. Krishna Madhurya. Okay, Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. Adi Leela, chapter 7, verse number 11. Krishna Madhuryera Eka Adbhuta Swadbhava Apana Aswadite Krishna Kare Bhakta Bhava. Translation. The transcendental mellow of conjugal love of Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself accepts the form of a devotee to relish the taste it fully. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Although Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, he has a special intention to taste himself by accepting the form of a devotee. It is to be concluded that although Lord Chaitanya is present in the form of a devotee, he is Krishna himself. Therefore, Vaishnavas sing, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Radha and Krishna combined together or Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Sri Swarupa Damodar Goswami has said, Chaitanya Kyam Prakatam Aduna Tad Dvayam Chaikyam Aptam. Radha and Krishna assumed oneness in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So we'll not dwell too much into those details because we've heard a lot of verses and lectures to understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is combination of Radha and Krishna. How is the combination? Again, Achinta Tattva, Chinta Beda Beda Tattva. Right? So he is Krishna in his transcendental physical form. But his mood is Srimati Radharani. So together, the mood and the transcendental body together combined, that became Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, 7.12.
Hare Krishna. Ithe Bhakta Bhava Dare Chaitanya Gosani Bhakta Swarupa Tanra Nityananda Bhai. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila.
We can avoid translation, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these things. Just read the text and the purports. Thank you.
For this reason, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme teacher, accepts the form of a devotee and accepts Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so what does this mean?
Prabhu Nityananda is nothing but
Balarama.
Lord Balaram.
Yeah, correct. But so when Lord has accepted him as a devotee, he even his expansion, Balaram, also doesn't come as his younger brother or anything, comes as elder brother, because the mode of devotee is servitude and extreme servitude and humility. So if he has even some younger brother to him, he will not have that fullest mode of devotee, right? So that's why he says even Nityananda came as his elder brother, not as younger brother.
Prabhu, they say in Ramayana, Lakshmana was his younger brother, and Lakshmana always had to listen to Rama. That's the reason here comes as elder brother, Balarama Antara. Is that?
It's correct. It's from the explanation given by the Acharya. So what happens is there were many situations which Ram did not listen to Lakshman, right? We will not go to the validity of the situation and reasons, right? So, for example, when Lord Ram was about to take the throne, Kaikeyi came and told him, no, you don't take the throne. Instead, you go to the forest. Now, at that time, Lakshmana was telling Ram, no, you cannot listen to her under these conditions. Kaikeyi was obliged to the boon of Dasharatha, but you are not obliged to the boon of Kaikeyi. So you don't need to follow it. But Ram said, no, she is my mother, and she is not different from my mother Kausalya. So, no, I will not take your words. So like that, this is one incident. Like that, there are many incidents that will happen in the Vanavas time also, and many other times also. So then Lakshman thought, oh, if I'm younger brother, he will not listen to me. It's better I become elder brother, right? So in Dwapar Yuga, Balaram came as elder brother of Krishna, right? So that he can guide him or mentor him or whatever he thought. But reality was not that, right? So, yeah, that is one viewpoint, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, 7:13, yeah. Yeah, someone read? 7:13.
Text 13. Bhakta Avatara Tanra Acharya Gosai Eyi Tina Tattva Sabe Prabhu Karigai. Sri Advaita Acharya is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee. Therefore, these three tattvas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Gosai, are the predominators or masters. Purport. Gosai means Goswami. A person who has full control over the senses and mind is called a Goswami or a Gosai. One who does not have such control is called Godasa or a servant of the senses and cannot become a spiritual master. A spiritual master who actually has control over the mind and senses is called Goswami. Although the Goswami title has become a hereditary designation for unscrupulous men, actually the title Gosai or Goswami began from Sri Rupa Goswami, who presented himself as an ordinary grihastha and minister in government service, but became a Goswami when he was actually elevated by the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Goswami is not a hereditary title but refers to one's qualifications. When one is highly elevated in spiritual advancement, regardless of where from he comes, he may be called Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Advaita Gosai Prabhu are natural Goswamis because they belong to the Vishnu Tattva category. As such, all of them are Prabhus, predominators or masters, and they are sometimes called Chaitanya Gosai, Nityananda Gosai, and Advaita Gosai. Unfortunately, their so-called descendants, who do not have the qualifications of Goswamis, have accepted this title as a hereditary designation or a professional degree. That is not in accord with the Shastric injunctions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so good. So two themes out of this. The first theme is what? It's about yes.
Yes, Prabhu, nothing.
So first theme is Vishnu Tattva. Okay. So now let's go back to the creation. So Lord Krishna, who's called Swayam Bhagavan, he has many energies with him. How many energies he has? Unlimited. And what are the potencies of these energies? They are also unlimited. That's why Lord is called Ananta. Ananta means one is unlimited. Unlimited in many ways. Unlimited in its potencies, unlimited in his presence, both. Okay. So that Lord wants to enjoy, so he uses his pleasure potency to create Srimati Radharani. And from Srimati Radharani came all the other tattvas, right? The Gopi tattva that we are seeing, then the Lakshmi tattva, the Sahasra Lakshmi tattva, then all other incarnations like Sitarani, etc., many other. She is also the cause of the Mahamaya incarnation. Okay, so that is one tattva. The other tattva is the expansion of Balaram, right? So now you see, Krishna expands into Balaram, then the quadruple expansion. Then you see many Purusha avatars or many Leela avatars. All these things, expansion happens. I'm not going to go into details. Now, expansion could have variety and purpose according to the need. But what you should understand, these are all Vishnu Tattvas in general. Okay. Now, what is Vishnu Tattva? For example, you have many innumerable planets in the Vaikuntha Lokas, right? Now, there is one planet which is called Goloka, okay? Or nothing but expansion of Rajabhumi, right? Rajabhumi's original cause is Goloka, all Vrindavan planets. Now, that planet has the Swayam Bhagavan presence. But all other expansion planets, right, they have more or less the Vishnu Tattva planets, right, where Narayana is the predominating deity. Okay. But whether they are Leela avatars or Purusha avatars or whatever it may be, in general categorization as Vishnu Tattvas. Okay. So now you look at the incarnation of Advaita Acharya. Okay. So Sri Advaita Acharya is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee. That means when Krishna expands, when he expands as Balaram or expands as to any other avatars, they all serve that supreme source, Krishna. That's the point here. So Advaita Acharya is one of the Vishnu avatar expansion. But his goal is to serve the supreme source. Supreme source is Krishna, who has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaita Acharya serves Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? So in your Panchatattva picture, you will see three deities. There are 5 deities, right? Center Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When you see your left-hand side, you will see 2 personalities. Right-hand side, you will see 2 personalities. The left-hand side 2 personalities, including Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are all the Vishnu categories in general. And the right-hand side are the energy and the devotee category, right? So energy also what, even though it is Radharani, but her mode is servitude, right? Srivas is devotee category, his mode is servitude. So the last right-hand side, last 2 are servitude category, while the 3, including Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the left-hand side, is master category. Okay, that you should clear. So which means, for example, when you offer a manjari or a tulasi or anything like that, you can offer them to the Vishnu category, not to the servitude category. Right? So that's why we offer tulasi to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Acharya. Right? So that's the key reason why some action is done like this. Okay. So that is one theme that has been talked here. The another theme is talked about is the word Goswami. Okay. So Dasa means I am a servant. So what's the mode of a servant? Servant is to serve. Now, when here in the context, the serve means whatever the master tells, I will do. I will not do anything without the instruction of my master. Completely surrendered. That's what the Dasa means. Now, when you add go to Dasa, The go is nothing but referring to the senses. Okay. Now here, senses as in knowledge acquiring senses. Okay. So now these senses can be either material in nature or spiritual in nature. How? So if a senses are getting attracted to perform material activities without presence of Krishna for sensory enjoyment, it is called material senses. Right? So for example, you can use this mouth to eat prasadam or anything else. Both are allowed to be eaten. But when this mouth or the tongue eats only prasadam, it becomes transcendental. When it eats all other things, which is not prasadam, it's material. That's all. Okay. So now, this senses behavior is what is the key now. If the senses become material in nature, then they are uncontrolled. They will not listen to anyone. They are uncontrolled. They keep on searching for desire to satisfy them unlimitedly. Okay. If the senses is transcendental, then they become subservient. Subservient to the whom? The top of the sensor is mind. Mind is the key control of senses. So it will become subservient to the mind. It will not become uncontrollable. That is the difference, being transcendental or being material in nature. Okay. So when you say go dasa, that means we are referring to senses which are material in nature. And dasa means the senses have become completely searching for desire. They are not controlled. So they become servant of the senses, and hence, whatever the sense asks, this person will say, okay, my mouth wants to eat all these nonsense things. Yes, I will eat. My genitals are wanting to do illicit activities. Yes, I will do. See, he's become servant to those material senses. Hence, such a person is called Godasa. Okay. Now, what is the general life of a Godasa? He is just worried about his senses. How do I take care of my body? How do I keep on giving pleasure to my body? How do I keep on enjoying? That is called a Godasa. So now when you're a Godasa, what happens? Transcendental subjects or transcendental practices, they stay far away from you. They don't come near at all. Either in the understanding or in practices, both. That means there's no proper knowledge and there's no proper life also. Okay. So hence it says, one who does not have control is called Godasa, or a servant of senses, and cannot become a spiritual master. That means nothing on the spiritual plane. Okay. On the other hand, one who is a Goswami. Swami means what? He's no more a servant, he's a controller, he's a master. So when you say go and Swami, he's telling, I can control the senses. So what does that mean? Your senses will desire all material things, unwanted things, outside of the purview of Shastric injunction. But he'll say, no, Shastra says prohibit. I will not do. So such a person who can control the senses and bring it under his, his purview is called a Goswami, because he can control. Now, look at the life of Rupa Goswami, which has been talked here. Now, what does he say? Rupa Goswami was just like us, any one of us. He was born as an ordinary boy, grew up as a Grihastha. Grihastha means what? They'll have wife, children, family life, enjoyment, everything will be there. Okay, he grew as a Grihastha. And then too, he started his career to do material job. What material job? He went to government. He started to practice governmental positions like whatever minister he was in. So, you see, he was an ordinary person. But when he realized the transcendental value, like each one of us, how we were material in nature, and we started to practice transcendental life. So he also realized transcendental life. I'm not getting to the reasons now. Then what he did, he understood the value of transcendental life. Then he decided to surrender to Chaitanya. So what he did, he rejected all the material viewpoints, all the material planed activities, and he went and surrendered to Chaitanya. Now, in order to do that, there are two things. One is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and second is his own determination. So when both combined together, what happened? He was able to overcome those material thoughts and actions and desires, and he became completely spiritual in nature. After he became spiritual in nature, he was able to get the mercy of so many Vaishnavas. He was empowered to write great literature, and he demonstrated the qualities of pure bhakti. And he became far, far supreme by all aspects. So that is the power of becoming a Goswami. No, he may become elevated in many directions, but he still doesn't become Vishnu Tattva. That you should be very clear. He's still Jiva Tattva, but he became a Goswami. So, Goswami is not a title awarded by, oh, my father is called Upadhyaya Goswami, so I'm also called so-and-so Goswami. No. I don't inherit the title. The title means nothing. What it means is, by practice can we elevate ourselves to transcendental life. And that's the point spoken here. Are we clear how we need to migrate in our life?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
So conceptually we may know, Godasa Goswami, I know Prabhu. But how to apply and get to it is the key. Okay, 714, let's read.
I'll read Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Eka Mahaprabhu Ala Prabhu Durajana Dui Jana Dui Prabhu Seve Mahaprabhu Racharana.
Very good.
One of them is Mahaprabhu and the other two are Prabhus. These Prabhu. Two Prabhu serve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Purport. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu all belong to the same Vishnu category, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is nevertheless accepted as the supreme and the other two Prabhus engage in his transcendental loving service to teach ordinary living entities that every one of us is subordinate to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In another place in the Caitanya Caritamrita, Adilila 5.142, it is said, Ekele Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhrutya. The only supreme master is Krishna and all others, both Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva, engage in the service of the Lord. Both the Vishnu Tattva as Nityananda Prabhu and the Advaita and the Jiva Tattva Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda engage in the service of the Lord, but one must distinguish between the Vishnu Tattva servitors and the Jiva Tattva servitors. The Jiva Tattva servitor, the spiritual master, is actually the servitor God. As explained in previous verses, in the absolute world, there are no such differences. Yet one must observe these differences in order to distinguish the Supreme from his subordinates. Hare Krishna.
Excellent. So now there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the crest jewel. Okay. He's the epitome. He's the topmost supreme. Okay. Now in the Panchatattva picture, there are two people outside of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the left-hand side, two people on the right-hand side. Now look at these two people. The left-hand side two people are called Vishnu Tattva. The right-hand side two people are called Jiva Tattva. Both are serving the Supreme Lord. Correct? But still there is a difference between Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. Who is Vishnu Tattva? Who is Jiva Tattva? That should be understood. Okay, now he's taking example of as your spiritual master. Your spiritual master is what? Is he Vishnu Tattva? Jiva Tattva. He is Jiva Tattva, but he is serving the Supreme Lord.
Supreme Lord.
Prabhu, Radharani Mataji becomes Radhini Shakti or Vishnu?
Haladini.
She is not Jiva Tattva, no, Prabhu.
She is not Jiva Tattva.
Yes.
She is the different Tattva. She is the Gopi Tattva. But actually, she is not Tattva at all. She is supreme servitude of Godhead. Okay.
Yes.
She is the summum bonum of all the pleasure potencies of the Lord. Okay. So if Lord has, let's say, 10,000 varieties of pleasure potency, she is a culmination. That means you put all together and make a single personality. And she's that energy. Okay. Okay, so this is clear. So your spiritual master is your Jiva Tattva. He is not Vishnu Tattva under any condition. Okay. Now, can any one of you become spiritual master?
No, Prabhu.
Think
Possible,
huh?
possible because
Yes.
it become a Goswami.
Okay. So it is possible, right? So any one of you, any one of us can become spiritual
Goswamis.
master. But we have to, one is practice, get empowerment, and get mercy. With all these three things, yes, you can become spiritual master. Okay?
Prabhu, here spiritual master is called servitor God, Prabhu.
Yes, servitor God. What is servitor God? So here, what is servitor God means he is not God. Okay? He is like God. So
Yes.
that means what? Now you are going to serve Supreme Lord Krishna. Okay. But you're serving to your spiritual master and he is taking a service and offering to Krishna. Okay. Now, so this person becomes a bona fide representative of the Lord. How bona fide representative? So, for example, Lord spoke the Vedas. The Lord wrote many literature like Bhagavatam and all that. So, how do I understand that and how do I render my service? So, I'm always doing it under a guidance. So, you render to him, he takes it and gives it to the Lord. Like that it is. So, hence, he is taking that position.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mother Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, you have I want to have some detail about one Samam Bonam, because what you were referred to, because even in Vrindavan, this particular will be, generally this word will be, they will be using it. I was not getting the exact meaning, Prabhu.
So what does that mean is, so let's say you go to a chemical laboratory, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah.
In a chemical laboratory, you will see there are many different colored chemicals are there.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Now, the green color chemical can do give one reaction.
Yes.
That means if you pour something, it can do maybe cleaning reaction, maybe fumigation reaction, maybe acidic reaction, or maybe like that. Each one chemical can do one property. So let's say there are 10 test tubes with 10 different liquids, 10 different colors are there.
Okay.
So if I want a cleaning property, which is present in chemical 2, if I use chemical 8, will anything get cleaned?
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhu.
Will it get cleaned?
No, whatever the chemical which has to be used for cleaning, that has to be used.
Just correct. So that means the chemical test tube 2, which is called as a cleaning chemical, I cannot use it for a polishing purpose.
Yeah.
So like that, Radharani there are many potencies of Krishna under the pleasure potency category.
Okay.
But who's Radharani? If you combine all these 10 chemicals into a single jar, which will have all these 10 properties together.
Yes, Prabhu.
And that is Srimati Radharani. And that is called, that combining all of them is called Samman Bhavan.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, one more thing. This empowerment you are telling, Prabhu, for Goswami or a spiritual master to be. So he has to be empowered. Empowered means from again seniors or from whom, Prabhu? Senior disciples or
So
from
first of
whom?
all, you understand the word empowerment.
Empowerment is somebody authorizing. Is it, Prabhu? I have understood.
Now, let's say you want to become the head security of a particular organization, for example. Okay. Now, it is not that you desire, okay, from tomorrow on, I am the head security of this company.
Yeah, yeah.
If you decide, can you become head security?
No,
No.
I cannot.
So the authority in the company should give authorization letter that so person is henceforth the head security of this company. Correct? That is called empowerment.
Then Parupa Goswami, Caitanya Mahaprabhu has empowered.
So what is empowerment for Rupa Goswami, spiritual master, all these people means?
Yeah.
The Lord will give a special mercy on them.
Oh, Hari Hari.
When the mercy on them, think like there's an energy on them.
Okay.
So then once that energy is reached to them, immediately they get the strength or spiritual power by which they don't have knowledge to write any books now. But once they got that energy on them, all knowledge came, their understanding came, everything came, they can write books so much.
Yes. Right.
That's the point. Okay. Now I will tell you. You want to go and preach somewhere. You went and preached a set of students in a college.
Okay.
And heard, but they said not interested, they'll go away. Okay. Now, Srila Prabhupada gave you empowerment. You go back to teach the same 10 students, they'll all become disciples of you.
Oh, Hari Hari.
That is the difference between empowerment and non-empowerment.
Okay, Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you.
So empowerment comes like a chain from Lord to Vishnu Tattvas to Jiva Tattvas, then empowered Guru Tattva, then spiritual master, then to you. That means it comes like a waterfall. You know how waterfall falls? Waterfall falls from the highest point to the down. Like that, it comes from the highest point, Krishna. It comes down to your spiritual master and he gives it to you.
Okay.
So if the empowerment is not coming through that chain of succession, that means it's a wrong empowerment coming to you. So you should not choose wrong empowerment. You should always choose bona fide empowerment.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's read 7:15.
Hare Krishna. 15. Yeyitina tattva sarva rajya karimani chaturdaye bhakta tattva aradhaka jani. Three predominators, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu are worshipable by all living entities. And the fourth principle, Sri Gadadhara Prabhu, is to understood as the worshipper. Perfect. In this Anubhashya Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura describing the truth about the Panchatattva explains that we should understand that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme predominator and that Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu are his subordinates but are also predominators. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord and Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu are manifestations of the Supreme Lord. All of them are Vishnu Tattva. The and are therefore worshipable by the living entities, although the other two tattva within the category of Panchatattva, namely Shakti Tattva and Jiva Tattva, represented by Gadadhara and Srivasa, are worshipable of the Supreme Lord by Lord. They are in the same category because they eternally engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so now there is more clarity for Gadadhar Pandit. Okay, so Gadadhar Pandit is nothing but the expansion of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani represents what? She is the energy of devotion. Okay, so Jiva Tattvas, they perform devotional activities. Devotional activities performed on whom? On the Supreme Lord Krishna, under the guidance of spiritual master. So there are three entities now: Supreme Lord Krishna, spiritual master, devotees. Devotees perform devotion onto Lord Krishna under the instruction guidance of spiritual master. So three people. Now, to perform the devotion on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, you need Shakti, you need energy. Energy in the form of love, energy in the form of many ways, right? What to do, what not to do, how to enjoy the rasabhav. So many things are there. It's a combination of that energy. That energy is nothing but Srimati Radharani. Okay? So the devotion performed on the Lord is by the cause of devotion energy, and that is a representation of Srimati Radharani by her mercy. So that Gadadhar Pandit is not devotee, but he is devotional energy on the Lord. So now in this context, he doesn't become Jiva Tattva, he becomes Shakti Tattva. Okay? So we have Vishnu Tattva, which is represented by Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu. Then we have the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we have Gadadhar Pandit, who's the Shakti Tattva. And then we have Srivas, who's representing the collection of all the devotees as Jiva Tattva. Okay? Is it clear now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Excellent. Okay, 7.16. Let's move forward.
Hare Krishna Pranam. Text 16. Shrivasadi yata koti bhakta gana shuddha bhakta tattva madhye tansabara ganana. Translation. These are there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord headed by Srivasa Thakura who are known as unalloyed devotees. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so now this is a very important point. Now, Srivas Thakura is like the spiritual master of all the devotees. He's like the head of them, right? So there could be many devotees, senior, junior, realized, non-realized, all varieties of devotees. They are all culmination of Srivas Thakura. Okay, so Srivas Thakura is expanded by Sri Narada Muni, who is son of Brahmaji. Okay, next sloka.
Text 17. Gadadhara Pandita Prabhu Shakti Avatara Antaranga Bhakte Kari Ganana Yanahara. Translation. The devotees headed by Gadadhara Pandita are to be considered incarnation of the internal potency of the Lord. They are confidential devotees engaged in the service of the Lord. Perfect. In connection with the verse 16 and 17, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains in his Anubhashya. There are specific symptoms by which the internal devotees and unalloyed or pure devotees are to be known. All unalloyed devotees are Shakti Tattvas or potencies of the Lord. Some of them are situated in conjugal love and others in fallible affection.
Parental.
Parental affection. Fraternity and servitude. Certainly all of them are devotees. But by making a competitive study, it is found that the devotees are potencies which are engaged in conjugal love and better situated than the others. Thus, devotees who are in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in conjugal love are considered to be the most confidential devotees of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Those who engage in the service of the Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Advaita Prabhu generally have relationship of parental love, fraternity, servitude, and neutrality. When such devotees develop great attachment for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they too become situated within the intimate circle of devotion in communal love. This gradual development of devotional service is described by Sri Narottama Das Thakur as follows. Prabhu, can you?
Okay. Gauranga balite habe pulaka sharira. Hari Hari balita nayane babe nira. Arakabe nitya chanda karuna karibe. Samsara vasana mora kabe tucha habe. Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha habe mana. Kabe hama heraba Shri Vrindavana. Rupa Raghunatha pade haibe akuti. Kabe hama buja haba Shri Yoga lapiriti.
When will there be corruptions on my body as soon as
You know what is eruption?
eruption on my body?
Yeah. Have you seen a volcano?
Yes.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
volcano, it suddenly it becomes active and smoke and fire comes on the top. No, have you
Yes,
seen
Prabhu.
like that? Suddenly, this love for Godhead comes out of our body like a volcano. That's called eruption.
When will there be eruption on my body as soon as I chant the name of Lord Chaitanya? And when will there be incessant
Torrents.
torrents of tears as soon as I chant the holy name Hare Krishna? When will Lord Nityananda be merciful towards me and free me from all desires for material enjoyment? When will my mind be completely freed from all contamination of desires of material pleasure? Only at that time will it be possible for me to understand Vrindavana. Only if I become attached to the instruction given by the six Goswamis, headed by Rupa Goswami and Raghunatha Das Goswami, will it be possible for me to understand the congenial love of Radha and Krishna. By attachment to the devotional service of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one immediately comes to the ecstatic position. When he develops his love for Nityananda Prabhu, he is free from all attachment to the material world. At that time, he becomes eligible to understand the Lord's pastime in Vrindavan. In that condition, when one develops his love for six Goswamis, he can understand the communal love between Radha and Krishna. These are the different stages of pure devotees' promotion to communal love in the service of Radha and Krishna in an intimate relationship with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Recently, remember there was a lecture we spoke on Rupa Siksha, right? I think the entire lecture is put here in one purport. Okay, so we'll just make it in a very brief manner. Okay, so the reference is given from Anubhashya. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura's Anubhashya. Okay, so he's talking about Rasabhav. Okay, now the Madhurya Rasabhav is considered to be confidential. It may be topmost, but also considered confidential. Why it's confidential? Because the exchange of love between Radha and Krishna is not to be spread like in a perverted manner. Oh, they got together and things like that. No, it's not that. We don't even understand what that Rasabhav means. Okay. Now, look at the explanation here. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu have relationship of parental, fraternity, servitude, and neutrality. What is neutrality? Is Shantaras. Yeah. Now, Shantaras, then we have Dasyaras, then we have friendship.
Sakya.
Then motherly love or parental love. Okay. Now, the parental love has all other lower forms of rasas built in within it. That's why it says Nityananda Prabhu, who's in parental love. Why he is in parental love? Because he is always worried about safeguarding, protecting, taking care in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But while doing that, he wants to be his friend. He doesn't want to dominate. Even though he's elder, he doesn't want to dominate. He wants to be in friend, serve him as a friend. Now, because that servitude attitude comes for him, he has that dasya also to him. Now, there are certain aspects when he knows the mode of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has the devotion, but he wants to stay away. So, neutrality. That means you see, all of them are being demonstrated by Nityananda Prabhu. But what lacks? The mode of conjugal love. Okay. So, mode of conjugal love in the current context of explanation, Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Prabhu do not have. They have all other, but mostly in the parental love. Okay. So, the point to understand is, in the previous verse, we talked about devotees serving the Lord using the strength of devotion energy under the instruction of spiritual master and serving. Now, this paragraph is telling us, how do we serve? What bhava do we maintain to serve? Do we serve as neutrality? What's the difference between neutrality and servitude?
There is an interaction. Neutrality, there is, it's one way, like.
Okay, so neutrality, in the neutrality mode, they understand the Lord Supreme. There is complete knowledge of the Lord. There is complete knowledge of oneself. There is great devotion unto the Lord. But servitude attitude, serving the Lord attitude lacks. Okay. So now, for example, there could be a rock in the spiritual. I'm just making up a story for you. There could be a rock in the spiritual world, which may be completely devoted, which may be fully transcendental, which has full knowledge about the Lord, but it may not be able to serve the Lord. Just wants to keep seeing it. Right? Okay. That is neutrality. In servitude, that neutrality plus servant. They want to serve. Okay. They want to serve Lord and Lord's energy, both, not just the Lord. Okay. Lord and Lord's energy. Who is Lord's energy? For example, we are also Lord's energy. So that is dasya. Okay. So then fraternity means, hey, dasya is fine, but it lacks intimation. Not intimation, I would say. It lacks that friendship. So in friendship, what happens? You can reveal your heart. You can be at par in your thought process, and you can serve. So that's friendship part. Now, in parental, what is the difference between friendship and parental? What is there in parental love? Protection. Oh, I want to take care. I want to protect. I would ensure that he is safeguarded. So that is the mode of parental compared to friendship. But in conjugal love, that extreme intimate relationship, esoteric, that is present. You cannot have conjugal love with your parents. Impossible.
Oh.
Correct? So, conjugal love contains all of these bhava plus that bhava of intimacy. So, for example, let's take gopis. Okay. No, even though gopis had this demonstrated Madhurya Ras with Krishna, they also had all other bhavas that they demonstrated. Be protecting the Lord. So many aspects, right? So you'll see all of them. That's what has been explained here. So now Narottam Das Thakur is writing this poem and he's telling that one can serve the Lord in any of these potencies or any of these rasas. And he says these rasas are not material in nature, they're completely transcendental. Now, how do you understand this is transcendental and how do you serve the Lord? How to serve the Lord as a parent? I want to serve the Lord as a friend, like Arjuna. I want to serve the Lord as a nice servant. So now what he says, there are three dimensions. Let me summarize that. Carefully watch these three dimensions. The first is understanding that the details of rasas that are available. That comes through your sadhana practice. Second, practicing according to one's consciousness in any of those rasas. Now, will these two things, that means knowledge and practice, will come? No. Here it says, when will Lord Nityananda be merciful towards me and free from all desires of material enjoyment? So here, the Acharya is writing that unless one gets the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, the first two things will not fructify into that love of Godhead. So, why we worship Nityananda Prabhu? When he awards that mercy, we get love of Godhead. And the best example is Jagai and Madai. So we are like Jagai and Madai. How? Jagai and Madai are the violations they had. They flawed all rules and regulations of human life. But the Nityananda Prabhu's mercy was so causeless. He said, okay, you may be nonsense in all aspects, but still I'll give you mercy, empowerment. Once that mercy and empowerment came, all material nonsense went away from Jagai and Madai. They became completely spiritual. And what he did, he made them so spiritual that the devotion became unalloyed to Chaitanya. You see, Nityananda Prabhu is a great catalyst. So similarly, when we perform Nityananda Trayodasi, we are seeking the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu so that we become pure, unalloyed devotion that can be expressed to Chaitanya. And that expression of the devotion to Chaitanya Prabhu can be in any of those five rasas. That's what Narottam Das Thakur is trying to explain. So clear? So do we need mercy of Nityananda Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
That will make us great devotees of Lord Krishna. So without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, our devotion may become very, very, soft or slow or postponed or procrastinated. So now, our spiritual master, who he is a representation of Nityananda Prabhu. So what does he do? He takes the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and gives it to him. That is the beauty of our spiritual master. And once that mercy of Nityananda Prabhu reaches us, then we are able to serve the Supreme Lord Chaitanya or Krishna and achieve love of God, Krishna Prema. So that is a special to spiritual master. When will spiritual master transfer the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu to us? When we serve the spiritual master for his pleasure. When we serve the spiritual master by hearing his instruction, following his his consciousness and mood, serving him according to his instruction, then we will get the receipt of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. This is what is important to understand. So now I'll ask you the last question. How can one serve the spiritual master? Who can answer?
Engaging in services that spiritual master has promised his spiritual master, and also following the four regulative principles.
Okay, that will be your sadhana, but how will you serve the spiritual master? What's the best? Yeah, okay. It says you have to serve the spiritual master, but how do you serve him?
Following his instructions, Prabhu.
That's it. Vani Seva. Spiritual master regularly writes books, regularly gives lectures. He may not sit with you personally and tell, do this. He may not do that. But he gives broadcast of his instruction. So, for example, Now, let's say tomorrow our spiritual master will give an instruction on his appearance day. So, what we need to do? First, we have to clearly understand what is this instruction. This is the first step. Second, what we need to do? Okay, my spiritual master has told we all should do this. Okay, I will do this. And that's the best form of serving the spiritual master. Okay?
It's Nisya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado.
Yes, yes. So when we serve the spiritual master, what is he going to do? He's like a reservoir. Okay. He will open the tap of mercy, which he collected from Nityananda Prabhu. And the tap of water will come and fall on us. We drink that. Now, once we get Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, we can serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu perfectly. And that's the goal of our lives. Okay?
Yes,
Is
Prabhu.
method process clear? Okay. So now we'll read the last sloka for the day, the 1718. Okay, who wants to read?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
1819.
Yan, text 7.18-19. Yan sabalana prabhura nitya vihara. Yana sabalana prabhura kitana prachara. Yan sabalana karena prema asadana. Yan sabalana dana kare prema dhana. The internal devotees or potencies are all eternal associates in the pastimes of Lord. Only with them does the Lord advent to propound the Sankirtana movement. Only with them does the Lord taste the mellow of conjugal love. And only with them does he distribute this love of God to people in general. Purport. Distinguishing between pure devotees and internal or confidential devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami in his book Upadeshamrita traces the following gradual process of development. Out of many thousands of karmis, one is better when he is situated in perfect Vedic knowledge. Out of many such learned scholars and philosophers, one who is actually liberated from material bondage is better. And out of many such persons who are actually liberated, one who is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered to be the best. Among the many such transcendental devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the gopis are the best. And among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the best. Srimati Radharani is very dear to Lord Krishna. And similarly, her fonts, namely Shyama Kunda and Radha Kunda, are also very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura comments in his Anubhashya that among the 5 tattvas, 2 are energies, Shakti Tattva, and the 3 or others are energetic, Shaktiman Tattva. Unalloyed and internal devotees are both engaged in the favorable culture of Krishna consciousness, and by philosophical speculations or repetitive activities. They're all understood to the pure devotees, and those among them who simply engaged in conjugal love are called Madhurya Bhaktas, are internal devotees. The loving services in parental love, fraternity, and servitude are included in conjugal love of God. In conclusion, therefore, every confidential devotee is a pure devotee of the Lord. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu enjoys his pastimes with his immediate expansions. Nityananda Prabhu is pure devotees and is 3 Purusha incarnations, namely Karanodaka Vishnu, Garbhodaka Vishnu, and Akshirodaka Vishnu, always accompany the Supreme Lord to propound the Sankirtana movement.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so whatever topic that's being discussed here, if you read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or Upadeshamrita, right, or which is called Nectar of Devotion, you will understand these things in a deeper manner. So that's why Nectar of Devotion is very important for someone taking Harinam. They have to read this. They have to understand this. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, second thing, what it says is, one who takes up this path, of loving, transcendental loving devotion service to the Lord, is not considered to be ordinary. It's considered to be something very special, because he'll be able to liberate himself out of this material bondage. What is the material bondage? That means we are possessing a material body with a lot of senses. Okay? Knowledge senses, our working senses. So we are able to get out of this body, which is the root cause of our entanglement. Entanglement means stuck up in this material world, right? So that powerful it is. Okay. So devotees are capable of doing that. That's what the Acharya is trying to tell us. No? Okay. So here there is a paragraph that is mentioned. Among the many such transcendental forces of Supreme Personality of Godhead, why you done? Godhead, the gopis are best. Among gopis, Srimati Radharani is the best. Srimati Radhika is very dear to Lord Krishna, and similarly her ponds, namely Shama Kund and Radha Kund, are also very dear to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So Lord is actually manifesting for the sake of us all these, various varieties of opportunities through which the devotees can experience supreme love of Godhead. Right? So, for example, Shama and Radha Kund are most dearest to the Lord. They demonstrate extreme pleasure. There are a lot of pastimes of Radha Kund alone. Lots and lots of pastimes. So now, why is that being manifested here? That is manifested here as a mercy showering on us. So when we go to Radha Kund, we can meditate on Srimati Radharani. We can sprinkle some water, from her kund on us, purify our consciousness, and which will make us get closer and nearer and nearer and nearer to Lord Krishna. That's the whole point. All these personalities, literature, this specific places of importance all manifest. Okay. So that's why the author is talking specifically about how the Lord is merciful here. Now, the Lord is also merciful. How? By giving these personalities. For example, when he talks about Vishnu Tattva, we talked about Nityananda Prabhu. Then we talked about Advaita Acharya. So now Advaita Acharya, who is he? He is actually Vishnu. When we say is Vishnu Tattva, that Vishnu Tattva is Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu consists of three, right? The Paramatma feature Shirodakshaya, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, then the Vishnu who is cause of the casual ocean. So all of them are embedded as a personality of Advaita Acharya. So you see the beauty and power of Advaita Acharya, the beauty and power of Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Prabhu. So we are all completely part and parcel of this. By taking their shelter and serving using the devotion energy under the instruction of spiritual master, we will be able to achieve supreme love of Godhead. Right? The process is simple, but what is stopping us is our material mind and interventions in our material plane. That is what is making it difficult. If not, one can just happily, peacefully practice. Right? Now, currently, if you look at it, the material requirements and the interactions are very strong. Too many complications. Right? Too many disturbances also. Now, imagine 500 years back. 500 years back, there were no advancement on economy and material subjects. Not much information was available. People were living very simple life, natural life they were living. There's no grinder also available. They have to grind themselves. There is no Hopcoms or, Amazon or anything like that. They have to go to the field, procure the grains and vegetables, come and then eat. So life was very simple and they were able to practice devotion very easily. As material advancement started to become stronger and stronger, it is impacting on practice of spirituality because of many, many disturbances. So a devotee must be focused, right? Tasmat ekena manasa. So with one pointed attention, a devotee must understand these and focus on his practices of Krishna consciousness in a regulated manner. Then, how much ever advancement these material energies they progress, they won't disturb you in devotion. Otherwise, you will get allured and say, I'll go for this, I'll go for this, I'll go for that. That is the whole problem. That is when we start to speculate on knowledge. We start to speculate on fruitive benefits. What is in it for me? It goes on unlimitedly. Right? So, we have to aim to become practice of unalloyed devotion. And that is important. Yeah. Any thoughts, questions?
You said Advaita Acharya is a combination of the three Purushavatas, Prabhu.
Yeah, he is Mahavishnu, no? He is Mahavishnu only, which expands into Karnodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Chirodaksha Vishnu. So hence he represents all three.
Usually we say Sadashiv and Vishnu together, no, Prabhu?
Yeah. In general terminology, but he is Mahavishnu actually.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, Sadashiva also what? Because these Purusha avatars are combined with material energies, right? Three modes of material nature. So, three modes of material nature is represented by Lord Shiva. And hence is combination of Shiva and Vishnu. So, you should understand the context in that manner.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, Prabhupada said, in Kali Yuga, the most important forms of worship must be the Panchatattva. So, Panchatattva gives you this complete combination. So, Prabhupada said, that's what every home should have picture of Panchatattva. They should worship Gauranitai. They are called the Kali Yuga forms of worship. There's no other forms of worship. That's most important to understand. If one understands this, they will just have one picture of Gauranitai and Panchatattva Acharyas, that's it, his altar is closed. One who doesn't understand this, even in the devotee category, they'll go to higher. They won't have Radha, Krishna, deities, pictures, and all these things. They'll have all of them and then complicate their worship. So that's what is important to understand. So hence, Guru Maharaj says, you can have a picture of Radha and Krishna at home because that's your final destination. That is good. But you should avoid deity of Radha and Krishna at home because it added more and more complexities and more and more procedure and rules. They're very difficult. Why you want to practice it? Just have a picture of Panchatattva and you're done. Yeah. Any other questions before we end the session?
Prabhu, today's session was very, very nectarian, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. All glories to the Vaishnava Vrindas of Jagannath Circle.
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu, it was very, very nice. And the day started very nicely. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
And thank you for accepting this time of 6 to 7 and then coming. So we can really nourish. Morning nourishment. Good for the whole day.
Though we all resisted, but it was very nice, Prabhu. And thanks for leaving us early.
Yeah. We have to understand each other's requirement, no? We just can't keep pushing. So we'll do it. And that's when lovingly we are going to be interacting. Otherwise, if we keep pushing each other too hard, then we're going to run away rather than coming forward. So we'll always blend it. Okay. Grandharaj Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhevacha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda
Vrinda ki jai.
Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Om Tat Sat.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. For very nice nectarian lecture, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.